Take out your mobile phones. I've sent your document on your unofficial group again today. You had your time on it? No?
Not better. In lunch break, I usually take.
Okay. Have you opened the document, everyone? Okay. Who has a loud voice over here? Like I do. I have a crazy, insane.
Ma'am, Aditya Bhatt. Aditya Bhatt.
Aditya Bhatt.
Aditya Bhatt. What's the first point mentioned on that document? Or what's this document about? What does it say?
Avoid negative labeling.
Or what's the document? Like the title of the document?
Dealing with different people at work.
Now, for this lecture, let's assume that this is not a classroom, this is a company. You are not my students, you are employees. I am the CEO. Mr. Devansh
Yes, ma'am.
is the president.
Thank you.
Mr. Aditya, because he has a nice voice and this will really suit our work today, is the vice president. Mr. Ayushman is the team lead for this team. Miss Disha, you are the team lead for this team. Miss Mishti is the team lead for this team. And this is difficult. I want you to, okay, you are name Ishita, loud enough. You are the team lead for this team. So we have 4 teams in our company. Team leads, you know, CEO, president, vice president. Dealing with different kinds of people at work. So I'm having a discussion with my president over here, Mr. Shaw. I would like you to concentrate on this conversation happening here. But since he's not had his chai today, he might be too soft-spoken for you to capture.
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Be loud then, okay? Like your friend.
Yes, ma'am. I'm louder.
If you will be louder, I'll be very happy.
Thank you so much.
So, we are having a discussion today. Do you think that the employees in our company are all the same kind of people?
No, not that. Because no person is the same.
The vice president could also indulge in this conversation because we are having a meeting in the morning. You could join us?
Yes, ma'am.
Or he could be dynamic with his capturing. It's okay. What do you think, Mr. Aditya? Do you think that all the people working on our company are the same kind of people? They're all clones of each other?
No.
And why do you think so?
I think so because everyone here comes with a different mindset, different goals to achieve.
Love that word. Now I want you to open your registers. Put down this heading for the day. Different people come with different mindsets. And what else?
Different goals to achieve.
Different goals to achieve. Anything else?
And one more thing that different people get satisfied with different things. Like in the organization, some might get satisfied with the work experience or.
ये आप बहुत आगे जा रहे हैं. Let's go a little back in time. Different people. People are different. They want to achieve different things. They are probably motivated or inspired by different things. That's going too much into the future. Let's go back in time. Why could they be different? Apart from mindsets and having different goals. थोड़ा सा और पीछे जाएं. Let's go back into their childhood. Have you never heard something like people have different journeys in life? Write this down. People have different journeys. People have different life stories. People have different life experiences. So the vice president might have had a completely different upbringing during his childhood in comparison to mine. All 3 of us have had different experiences as kids growing up. Am I right, Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's assume. बोला मत मानिएगा. This is just an example to teach everyone. Let's say Mr. Devansh used to be a clumsy child. as a child would probably drop things heavy, would be a little clumsy. And the parent might have used a certain statement quite a lot of times, such as, you. Now focus on this, Mr. Shaw. You are a lazy boy. You are clumsy, Devansh. Now this was forced into his subconscious while he was growing up. You are lazy. Why are you so clumsy? You are clumsy. 99 out of 100 if the child is not smart enough, because children are usually not so smart. They are growing up. They are small kids. 99 out of 100 kids don't have an understanding of human psychology. They grow up and then they learn. How will this kid grow up as a young man or as a matured man in his 30s or 40s? With what kind of a subconscious conditioning will he grow up? He will probably, because of his subconscious conditioning, try to stay away from positions of leadership. Because guess what? Or a situation where he's got to speak in front of thousands of people as a public speaker. Why? Because I might just falter. I'm clumsy. I might forget. I might not be able to lead a team of 1,000 because I'm clumsy. I could be clumsy. I'm working on it, but I could make a mistake. Self-doubt. Self-limiting beliefs. They do what? They sabotage your adulthood. Now he's grown up. He's probably moved out of his house. He's not living with his parents anymore. But now what's happening in his head, in his subconscious rather, is that he's got a self-limiting belief system. Doubt again. It might not be a strong one. Please don't get confused. Devansh is not continuously telling himself now, as a 40-year-old man, I'm lazy, I'm clumsy. No. It's somewhere there. Hazy, 0.1%, like a kida. But hey, what if this happens?
Somewhere in my mind I am having a point that am I the one who is a lazy and a clumsy one? Or
maybe. Just a 0.001%.
yes,
maybe.
yes, exactly.
But they say it could be 0.001%. It might matter very less. Devansh might say, but no, I'm very confident. For 99.99% of his situations, he might be a very confident man now, but the 0.001% from his childhood is still there. They say things might matter less, other things might matter more, but everything matters. The 0.001% also matters. It will one day, maybe for 5 seconds only, give him a doubt. But tomorrow is the meeting. Tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow I got to give this presentation in front of 5,000 people. And could something go wrong? That's the 0.001%. And in that moment, just before the D-Day, it is strong enough to bring doubt into this system.
Sure,
The whole system has been infected by a virus. Yes, you wanted to
In
say?
front of many people, we can actually I can show my confidence, but at the back of my mind, I would have a point that I'm not much confident enough, and am I the one who can do this or not?
True. He might be a very good actor. That's what personality development is about. Personality development talks about building a persona. VP has been standing for a long time. Only we talk. Please sit down. We talk about persona. Persona is nothing but a mask. A mask which an actor wears. He will present himself as a very confident speaker, but the 0.001% is corroding him like rust from inside. हिंदी में सुना है आपने? सुना होगा? But परिवार को बाहर से आके कोई नहीं तोड़ता है, अंदर का ही कोई इंसान तोड़ता है. Something like this you must have heard about the rust in the iron connection. It's the rust which breaks the iron. So, the rust inside his head, the 0.001%, is like a virus which probably might not multiply, but stays there and tortures him. And that could corrode him one day. Right? One day he comes to the presentation room. All of you are waiting for his seminar. He's delivered 100 successful seminars, but last night the thought came to his mind, I would screw this because I have had this pattern during my childhood. Today, this is his 101th presentation, and the virus attacks today. And he forgets something and he messes up somewhere. Now tell me how much of that forgetting will mess up with his head today. Tell me. Will it mess him hardly or will it mess him a lot? Who says hardly? Who says a lot? Mishti, why do you, let's focus on the beautiful lady. Why a lot today? 100 presentations बहुत अच्छी थी, 101 भी गड़बड़ हो गई आज. The virus showed up today.
When he was small, he was always pointed out whenever he did that mistake. That is why he would think about it and still feel that today I did the mistake. That is why maybe it is connected to my childhood and I feel like I am a clumsy person and a lazy person. I was and I still am.
Absolutely, please. That's the whole connection. One, he will start to think, all these days I was just trying to convince myself, I was just covering it up. That is why my seminars were so successful in the past, because I was just covering it up. I was trying to convince myself that that child is gone. Today I messed up. I am lazy. I am clumsy. Oh my God, my parents were right. I was just trying to cover it up. But today it happened. Now this is the evidence right here. I messed up. I am clumsy. Now the memories of the past come rebounding 100x, 100 times, and they convince the adult, hey, there is a connection between your past childhood behavior and today's behavior. You are still lazy. When he's actually not. The 0.001% which we say, "Arey yaar, chala jayega," just ignore it. No, it actually matters because it did something today.
And now when this is messed up and
Now it's a disaster.
now this 0.001% can become a 1%.
A 100.
Yes, ma'am.
A 100, like she said. Today as an adult, it affected him deeply. आज ये रात को सो नहीं पाएंगे. From tomorrow onwards, भगवान ही मानेंगे. You have no idea what this virus can do now. So that's why people are different, because they have different journeys starting from their childhood. So the CEO understands that, the president understands that, the VP knows that. Now, VP, what's the first point mentioned? Why we need to read this document today? Because we need to discuss this to move on to the next important topic in your syllabus.
The point.
The first point.
Avoid negative behavior.
Avoid negative behavior. Okay, so thank you. Let's say I come to the company and I need to have a very important meeting with the president. So I meet the president today. He's a newly appointed president. He resigned last month. And we are meeting for the first time. Usually people who are at the top, they don't meet each other every day. Why? Because they're busy. They don't have time. They only meet when things are important. So, now I want you to come across as very arrogant, aloof, and dry.
I will do it for sure.
You will. ऐसे आपकी तो नहीं है.
Somewhere.
0.001%.
No, 1%.
मेरी तरफ या सबकी तरफ?
For everyone.
Are you sure? Is that true or is it just against me?
No.
Because I keep pulling his leg a lot.
some selected one might be.
Still think of.
No, ma'am, everyone.
Oh,
The person
yes,
who
because
deals
Mr.
with
Shaw
me-
is recording everything.
No. If a person deals with me in a good manner, then I am a good person to him.
I think I've been good to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I meet you for the first time, but you are in your head.
Yes, please.
Hello, I didn't get your name last time.
Devanshan.
Yeah, so, Mr. Shaw, I want you to focus on us. Please, I want you to focus on this handshake as well. Can you look at this handshake? Okay, so this is, can you see the handshake? I'm trying to hold his hand, and his hand is like this. We call it a dead fish handshake. He does not give me a nice handshake, so that's true. So I'm already somehow feeling that he is not interested in talking to me. I want to have a meeting regarding something very important which is coming up today. So could you take out 30 minutes and join me in my cabin?
I can join you after an hour because some work of mine is pending right now.
Lovely. Now, if I'm not mature, if I'm not emotionally intelligent, what did he just do? He declined my proposal, he is subordinate to me, and he says, I can join you after an hour once my work is over. I might automatically, immediately assign a negative label to him. Oh, what does he think of himself? Does he think he owns the company? Is he one of the board of directors? Arrogant, rude, too full of himself. I label him. Chances are he is like that. Chances are he is not. He's had a bad day. Probably he got a call from his wife, and the wife told him that his daughter fell sick. And he's a little disturbed. He's thinking about that the moment he meets me, and he ends up behaving like this. So what will I do? The first time, I'll just let it go. Ignore it. Something could be going on. I don't have any evidence against him. I don't have any proof against him which can substantiate my claim that he's an arrogant person. So I drop the negative label. We need to understand that people have different journeys, they're coming from different life experiences, different subconscious minds, and we need to drop the negative labeling the moment we meet people. How many of you have met somebody for the first time and based on first impressions, you have negatively labeled them? Be honest about it. Just raise your hand if you've done it. First time you meet someone, based on that interaction, you label them in your mind. All of us are guilty of it. The ones who are not raising their hand are simply lying. We do it. And although that line is correct, first impression is the last impression. But so, ma'am, it does not apply everywhere in life. It could apply to an interview, yes or no? Because an interview is a make or break. It could probably apply to a first date. A person could be genuinely good, but if they don't behave in their best way on the first date, it might not lead to a second date. Am I right? In certain situations, it applies. First impression is last. But you can't be on your best foot forward every day. Can you be? It's too much pressure. If I teach to all of you, first impression is everything. You got to be your best every day. You got to put your best foot forward every day, every class, till lecture 5. That's too much pressure. You'll burn out. So, no negative labeling. What's the second point?
Try and understand what the point of difference are.
Points of difference. Now, after 1 hour, he joins me for the meeting. I have dropped the negative labeling. He could be going to some. बातों में कुछ होता है, and he presents me stupid situation, but he presents me with a basket of apples. And the apples got a certain color. I have some knowledge about apples, and I say, Mr. Devansh, these apples are sour apples, aren't they? You say, yes. That's all you say. You bought sour apples. Mr. Devansh, aren't these sour apples?
Yes, as you can see.
Yeah. These are the sour kind which come in this season.
If you want
What did he say? If you want them, take them, or you could give them back to me. Normally, someone who has some knowledge of psychology will understand. Why would we say something like this to anyone? Like, if you like it, you could take it, or it's okay, you could try. Because I use the word sour, probably he has assumed that I may not like sour apples. I may like sweet apples. So, if you don't like them, return them to me. Or next day, the basket of apples is lying on my desk. He comes to my chamber to discuss something. He finds me eating one of those apples. He might automatically say, but ma'am, you said they were sour.
Why are you eating that?
Why?
For 140 rupees a kg. You would have returned with that.
आप ये भी तो बोलिए ना, why are you eating? They are sour. They were expensive. You could have just given them back. बोलो. I'm enjoying this apple. Oh yes, hello Mr. Devan, join me. Would you like to have an apple?
No. Why are you eating that? That was sour, no?
Yes, they're sour.
So, they were expensive. You would have returned that.
But I never said I would not eat them.
But first of all, I gifted you something, and now you are saying that they are sour and everything, so you should return it.
But I never said that I would not eat them. I never said that I don't like sour apples. Maybe I only like sour apples. That's the point of this second discussion. What is the point again? Now let's build on this.
Try to understand what is the difference, points of difference.
अभी यहाँ पे देवांश को you should probably pinpoint, right? Difference था क्या? The CEO had only said these are sour apples, right? That was the only thing the CEO said. तो उतना ही दिमाग लगाएं जितनी की जरूरत है. The CEO never said I don't like them, or I will not eat them, or I will throw them away and waste your money. I am eating them. So, how many of you now are guilty of thinking too much about some difference between you and the other person? And when you think too much, you build up more differences. How many of you have been guilty of that in the past? Friends, relatives, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. All of us have done it. All of us are guilty of it. We say one thing, but the other person attaches 10 more differences to it. We assume a lot. भाई हमने बोला कि आपको वो सावर और आपने क्या क्या assume किया, इनको पसंद नहीं है, ये वापस ही कर देती, जबरदस्ती चाय खा भी रही है और पता नहीं कितने फेंक सीसीटीवी में नहीं दिया हुआ कि आए हैं, आने वाले हैं, कुछ करने के लिए और but I'm senior ना. The CEO is always much senior, by the way. Just to tell you why I gave you the hierarchy. और आगे मैंने फेंक लिए या बांट दिए कि भाई the top. ये सब आपने सोच लिया ना मेरे बारे में. तो we are not supposed to do that because it leads to resentment amongst people. ये अब निकलेंगे रूम से सोचते सोचते बहुत बनती है. इतना पैसा वेस्ट भी किया, बर्बाद हो गया पैसा, कहाँ बांट दिए, देने बाहर जाके फेंक दिए. भाई वापस भी कर देती. इतना ऑनेस्टी की बात में बात करती हैं. She would have given it back. I would have given it to someone who actually likes sour apples. The poor CEO likes the sour apples. ठीक है? Next point.
Embrace the difference.
Embrace the difference. ये समझाना पड़ेगा. If all of you become like me, I have a very, my personality, my way of speaking with all of you, you must have understood by now. I'm very bold, I'm very brash, I'm very blunt, and I'm very straightforward. I don't have a sweet, flowery tone. Devansh, do I speak in a very flowery tone?
No.
I've got a powerful personality. When I come, I speak it as it is. That's all I do. I don't speak to make you happy. I don't speak to offend you. I speak the stuff, the real stuff. And my way of speaking or presentation is powerful. It's blunt. If all of you become like me, if Devansh becomes my clone, I will not have this much of fun interacting with him, will I?
No.
if he is not laughing around, if he is not a little casual, if he does not crack jokes the way he does, we will not have fun anymore. Will we? I'll never want to pull his leg again. So we got to do. Next point.
See people objectively, not subjectively.
What is the meaning of subjective? Now, this is related to the first point. I met him for the first time. I negatively labeled him as arrogant. बंदा अपना काम खत्म करके 1 घंटे बाद मुझसे मिलेगा. He is arrogant. I labeled him. So who can tell me what is the meaning of looking at someone subjectively? Would you try, Aditya? Yes. Yes. Your name? Oh, Mr. Shaw, she is too soft spoken. Louder.
Putting on your own opinions.
Talia, please. I'll repeat it for her. I'll repeat it for her. Sit down. Perfect answer. What was the fourth point? I'll repeat her answer.
See people objectively, not subjectively.
If I see people subjectively, I am looking at them through my lens of bias and my feelings and my opinions that I've made. I will remove that lens, I will remove my bias that he's arrogant. I will remove my opinion, he's biased, arrogant. I'll remove my feelings of him, I don't like him because he's arrogant. I'll remove all of that and I will look at him with a neutral, balanced lens. Objective. Stop applying your biases and opinions to your viewpoint of someone. Look at them with a naked eye. Remove your lens. वो नहीं बोलते in relationships. Right? This is the honeymoon phase. You're looking at this person with rose-tinted glasses. 1 महीने बाद जब ये उतरेगा, तब सब कुछ अच्छे से साफ-साफ दिखाई देगा. So remove the lens of bias. Perfect answer. Next point.
Pick your battles wisely.
Pick your battles wisely. I am the CEO. I am about to join the board of directors in 3 months, beta. And you are the president. बताओ 3 महीने में इनका क्या प्रमोशन होगा, ये क्या बनने वाले हैं? He is going to be the CEO.
मैम पीऊन ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा.
तेज तो बोली ताकि रिकॉर्ड हो. हो गया.
Cameraman is
Mr. Shaw, did you pause that? I'm
No, ma'am.
disappointed. I want everything.
Yes, ma'am. It has been recording
Because
already.
I'm greedy. Yeah. So, he will be the next CEO in the next 3 months. Because I'll join the board of directors. Abhi, listen. I committed a blunder. I have actually committed a technical blunder as CEO. Mr. Devansh is all pumped up today. He's excited. I'll go to the boss's chamber and I will show this mistake to my boss. My boss made a mistake today. I will correct my boss. I will educate my boss today. Hey, I'll win some brownie points because I'll point out the mistake. दूसरा इंसान, the BB, Aditya, the friend will say, "Bhai, look, there's a promotion lined up in the next 3 months. So drop this small battle right now. Stay quiet and win the war." आज के लिए बस एक ये लाइन काफी है. ये लिख लो अपने रजिस्टर्स में.
If he will be CEO, then I can be president.
Of course, he's being smart. भाई चुप रहे. Drop this battle. So pick your battles wisely, but write down one line today. That's the power punch line for today. Sometimes, आप लोग की आपको याद रहेगा. Sometimes it's okay. It's okay to lose a few battles. To lose a few battles. I hope everyone's writing. Sometimes it's okay to lose a few battles to win a war. To win a war. Have you heard of the Battle of Panipat? The Battle of Panipat. I studied it I got my top marks in history and I don't remember it. But it's called the Battle of Panipat, if I'm not wrong. Do we call it the War of Panipat? Do we call it the War of Panipat? Have you heard about World War I? Do we call it the World Battle I? What's the difference between a battle and a war?
Ammunition.
The scale of
Be loud enough.
the scale of the
That's it, Talia. The size and the scale. So it's okay to lose a battle today. He will say, Bhai, it's okay to lose a battle with your CEO today. Don't teach him his or her lesson. They made a blunder. Please stay quiet. Shut up. Your promotion is lined up in 3 months. Win the war. Become the CEO. So, 3 महीना चुप रहे. Don't educate him. पंखे मत ले. समझ में आ गया? 5th point.
Remember your bigger picture and your bigger goals.
This is connected to the last one. If Mr. Devansh remembers his bigger picture, which is to become the next CEO of the company, he will stay quiet and he will look at the bigger picture, which means he will have a telescopic vision, not a microscopic vision. What is a telescopic vision? Anyone? Have you ever looked through a telescope? A telescope shows you far away objects. You see planets through a telescope. What do you see through a microscope?
Close enough.
Cells, tissue slides, yeah, very small things. The telescope
32 minutes.
shows you a far vision. Yes? You are not short-sighted through a telescope. You become far-sighted. Same example, promotion wala, telescopic vision. 3 months later, I will CEO. Shut up today. Don't correct your boss. Don't take a banga. Because if the boss gets irritated, I will probably start to observe his work and start, considering him for a promotion as a CEO. So, telescopic vision will tell him to stop and not correct me. Microscopic vision, आज क्या हुआ है, आज blender को correct करो, will tell him to come to my chamber and argue with me and take a banga with me. Clear? Next point.
Be flexible with your communication style.
Be flexible with your communication style. This is related to the first discussion we had. Everyone has a different journey. Everyone's subconscious conditioning is different. Yes? So some people, let's say, Mr. Devansh. Mr. Devansh has got such a personality which has come from his childhood upbringing, life experiences, subconscious conditioning, blah blah blah. All of these things are added to his personality, aren't they? Life, childhood, parental upbringing, and his subconscious conditioning and his own personal development which he is working on. So probably he's got a strong personality. He can take my bold attitude. He can take my blunt way of talking. But probably Miss Mishti is not so powerful, not so probably, relatively, she is not as emotionally intelligent or as powerful or as resilient or as tough as he is. She is a little more sensitive. So now I will have to adjust my communication style so that I can inspire her and transform her so that she can perform her best. The way I speak to him may not be the best way to speak to her or to him or to him or to somebody else over here. Since everyone's different, I got to change my style of communication. If you have heard of Rajiv Talreja, he is one of India's very famous business coaches. When he was growing up, his mentor asked him, Rajiv, do you think it's fair to treat everyone equally? Now I'm going to remove the word treat and replace it with something else and ask you, Devansh, do you think it is fair to communicate with everyone in the same style? It is unfair. You have to communicate with everyone in a different way. which also translates to you've got to treat everyone unequally. Unequally. Because everyone is a different individual. They have different life experiences. So you got to have a different communication style. You got to treat everyone unequally. That's when you are being fair to everyone. You can't treat everyone equally. They are not robots. They are not clones of each other. Next point.
Remind yourself that human psychology is complex.
All of these points are interconnected. Human psychology is complex, plus every human being is different from the other, from the other, from the other. All of you are different. So, if I will constantly remind myself of that as the CEO, I will treat all of you unequally. I will change my communication style accordingly. Because I understand that all of you are complex creatures. Next point.
Prioritize your own peace and well-being.
Yes, now this is very simple. Halka Sansi Mazak. If Mr. Devansh is an idiot, I come to office, he argues with me every day. And all his arguments are based on nothing. They are stupid arguments. No facts, no evidence, no proof. Just eats my head all the time. Will I try to educate the idiot or will I get away from him and focus on my work? So prioritize your peace and mental well-being when it's required. Example how?
मुझे मैंने आंसर नहीं सोचा था.
तो दीजिए ना.
If I would be an idiot, how would I come to this post?
अभी वो पोस्ट हटा. I just come to the office. There's a guy who works in the company, but वो नॉक करके बार-बार आने की आदत है. वो सर आज ये, वो सर ये, वो उसने ये कर दिया, फिर सर ये हो गया, ये पंगा हो गया, सब वहाँ पर पता है कितना बवाल हुआ है. तो प्रॉब्लम है. I'll be like, Mr. Aditya, whenever this person is about to come, just tell him that I'm busy, on a conference call, on a video call, keep him away from me. ऐसे हो जाता है.
I'll ask him to resign.
Maybe he's good at his job.
Listen, you are under me, not.
अभी इस situation में वो position हटा दी. So, get away from such people. Next point.
Stay professional.
Write down the second power punchline for today. You've got to be political and professional at work. You can't be an emotional, sensitive, touchy person at work. Mr. Devansh, बताइए, if you look at all the multi-millionaires and billionaires of the world, do they come across as extremely emotional people in their international interviews, seminars? Now, listen to my question very carefully. Do they appear to be extremely emotional? Do they appear to be extremely emotional when they are talking to the individual? Yeah, to the people. No. But they could be emotional people in their life. What are these people doing? They are multi-millionaires. They feel emotion. They are emotional, but guess what they do? They feel the emotion. They are not consumed by it. They dominate their emotions. Their emotions don't dominate them. At work, they are political and they are professional. Some of you should have a question. Why is ma'am using the word political? Why political? Just be professional. ये politics का क्या मतलब है? What does she mean by saying political? Why should you be political at work? Have you heard of this line? I hate politics. I stay away from office politics. Because जिस चीज को आप रेफर कर रहे हो ना as office politics is not office politics. You're actually referring to the gossip which people do. The gossip mongers. वो अलग चीज होती है. But all multi-millionaires and billionaires are political. Narendra Modi. Best example for now to give so that you can understand. Extremely wonderful at politics. He's playing with people's minds all the time in the best possible way. I'm not critiquing him. I'm exemplifying him. Become like him. He's playing with people's emotions all the time. He's very emotionally intelligent. वो जहाँ पे नहीं जाते हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि उनको वहीं पे पैदा होना चाहिए. When he goes to America, it becomes Howdy Modi. When he goes to Gujarat, different story. When he goes to Kerala, he wishes to have been born in Kerala. When he goes to Andhra Pradesh, he wishes to have been an Andhra person. When he goes to Karnataka, he wishes to be a Karnataka. He wants to be theirs. But he is everywhere. Political, line little. Politics is nothing but getting and retaining power. And how do you get power, Devansh? How do we get power?
By treating the person in front of me in a nice or a good way, that he also likes me and I also like him.
Your answer is on the right track, but let's make it a little bang on. By treating people right, by treating people in a nice way, so that they start liking us. When people like us, they will automatically submit and you will gain power over them. But bang on, let's make it a little crisp, na? कोई बोलेगा, भाई ठीक है, treat people nicely. But how do we do that? Write down communication and understanding their psychology. 2 words. You should have great communication skills. Think of Mr. Modi's speeches. And you should understand people's psychology. नरेंद्र मोदी जिस भी शहर में जाते हैं, जिस भी स्टेट में जाते हैं, बिल्कुल वैसे बन जाते हैं. Why? Because he understands if I will become one of them, they will start to love me. They will be able to relate to me. He is being emotionally intelligent. He understands the audience's emotions. He plays with those emotions accordingly. People start to like him. He gains power. So you've got to be political as well. Professional. Great communication skills, and you need to understand people's psychology. How do you understand people's psychology? By understanding that everyone has a different background. Start to read their body languages. Start to read their micro expressions. Observe how they speak to you. Observe the tone in their voice, body language, face, micro expressions. Get to know them better. Get to know about their life history. This will tell you a lot about their mind. And then you can play with their mind. Next point.
If nothing else, work involved management without complaining and with maturity and emotional intelligence.
इस पॉइंट में आपका प्रेसिडेंट वाला सा दिखाते हैं, ठीक है? आज का सीईओ हटा दिया, हटा दिया, बस समझाने के लिए, इस एग्जाम्पल के लिए. He is the president, Mr. Aditya. I'm the CEO, and this person has been bugging me for a long time. चलो मैं अपना भी बताता हूँ. ना तेरा ना मेरा. ये president नहीं है, मैं CEO नहीं हूँ. I'm an employee, he's an employee. Both of us are team players working under Mr. Ayushman. He keeps bugging me all the time. सारा काम मुझे दे देते हैं, क्रेडिट खुद ले जाते हैं. आधा घंटा लेट आते हैं, 4 बजे चले जाते हैं, मैं 8 बजे तक काम करती हूँ.
HR.
इससे पहले कि मैं अपनी टीम लीड को रिपोर्ट करके अपनी रिपोर्ट दूँ, रिपोर्ट जाके पहले दे देते हैं और ब्राउनीज टीम लीड से ले रहे हैं. This has been going on for a long time. I tried to talk to him once, बात नहीं हो रही. Tried to talk to him twice, ये भी जिद्दी है. Tried to talk to him a 3rd time, he is not changing. I am fed up. Every day is like a battle working with him. And this person, team lead, is also not a very strong leader. Situation इनसे भी control में नहीं आ रही. He is also not cooperating with me. Now, if nothing is working, I will go to the human resources department. But because I have great communication skills, I understand human psychology very well. I am emotionally intelligent, mature. Let's say Mr. Shaw is the HR manager. I go to Mr. Shaw to actually complain about Mr. Devansh, but I come across as someone who is not complaining. I present the facts, I present the evidence, I present the proof. I do not adopt a complaining tone. I stay cool, calm-headed, collected. I tell him everything in a political, professional way. No complaint, no bad mouthing. वो ऐसा है, वो वैसा है, नहीं. I'm mature, emotionally intelligent. So this is what I'm going through. This has what has been happening. Here are the facts. And I am facing such and such challenges at work. I would really appreciate it if you could kindly look into the matter and address my grievance, and we could probably have a conversation and come to a solution about it. And I leave. Not once have I bad-mouthed this person. Not once did I say, मैं उससे परेशान हूँ. Sentences like, I'm fed up with him. I can't work with him. I hate him. No, 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 no. Pure facts. And what I'm going through. And what I'm feeling. Now the HR manager, who's a very tough HR manager, sympathizes with me. Why? Because I did not complain about it. I did not bitch about it. I did not target him. समझ में आ रहा है? How many points in total?
11.
Are we clear about these points? Mr. Devansh, thank you so much for being your support. Although last में आपका पद आपसे छीन लिया गया.
Thank you.
But it was all very fair और मेरा भी नहीं था वहाँ पे. But are we clear with these 11 points? Please download them, keep them on your phone somewhere.